You're now listening to the Pitchside Peregrines podcast, your home for all things Athletic Club Boise. Welcome in, everyone, to the post-match report with the Pitchside Peregrines. I am one of your hosts, Elias.
And I'm Kyle, and I'm still here.
Hey, Kyle is still here. We are still on baby watch, and we are counting down the days. So
Yeah.
consider this
Second,
maybe Kyle's
yeah.
last episode, maybe second to last.
It's either last or second to last. I don't think I'm making it past
Yeah.
the pregame for Chattanooga.
So we are in I'd say, overall celebratory manner in the result that happened yesterday in the Las Vegas Lights versus Athletic Club Boise match. It ended in a 1-1 draw, but then due to cut match rules, goes to immediate penalties, and they took home the victory through penalties.
Yep.
I think just overall thoughts of the game. I thought it was kind of sleepy at times. I think all the changes that went through with no Moon and no Bodley, Philip Mayaka not being in the midfield, um, Hayden Sargis starting at right center back, and kind of the entire reshuffling of the team at times felt like that the team didn't really know fully, like didn't have the comfortability versus the full starting 11 on a normal match. And I think
Hmm.
you could kind of see that at times. I think the only major chance in the first half was Jonathan Ricketts' sitter that he just unfortunately whiffed on, and
Yeah, he'll
whatever.
he'll want that one back for
He
sure.
will. I think besides that, my really all I remember is I think number 25 on their team, Anderson, was just cooking whoever was playing right center back, be it Hayden Sargis, be it Musa, be it Ricketts. He was just fast and was skinning people alive for most of the game. Um, but really,
Yeah, despite
besides,
despite them, I mean, neither of us won, but I'd say he was player of the game
yeah,
personally. Personally,
yeah, I think
Keegan got player of the game, but I'm like, that guy was incredible.
incredible. Yeah, it was always scary to see him shake and bake or just go left, go right, wherever he went. It was maybe flashbacks to what happened to AV Alta. But really, besides Musa's maybe goof that led to Las Vegas's only scoring, like not many um, shoot ourselves in the foot opportunities, which I think, um,
Mm, none that they scored.
yes,
We
yeah,
had, in my personal opinion, they had a lot of opportunity to score. Like I can think of at least three where they had some really, really, really clear-cut opportunities that were maybe they did it themselves, where it's just a good play, but there's also like one early on in the second half, Musa just whiffed a tackle. And then it was a
mm,
3-on-2 immediately. I'm like, holy smokes! Like we can't keep like I get the aggressiveness of wanting to, but I'm like, this is a couple games in a row where we've had a really egregious, aggressive mistake on defense, and it's a 3-on-2 or a 3-on-1. It's like, oh, man, I don't know how feasible it is to keep up with that style of mistake
mm,
when you know no one's behind you, when you know no one
yeah.
is going to be there. So that's frustrating. And I
But I
think that's the
think,
third one Moose has done himself.
yeah,
So
not we're growing. I
yeah.
think it'd be different if we this game. I don't know if it was for everyone's broadcast, but Nate Miller was on a hot mic the entire game. You
Yeah.
heard him yelling at Toomey. You heard him yelling at Keegan. You heard him yelling at pretty much everyone on the pitch. So it sounds like obviously, if our head coach was silent, maybe it would be more cause for concern. But he can definitely see maybe these small things that are coming up here and there. But
Hmm.
overall, I think AC Boise held their own against the championship side,
Yeah.
be it a
I think, yeah.
struggling championship side. But given, yeah, just this wasn't our strongest 11 either, that
Hmm.
we came out with a strong 2 points,
Yeah.
and we're on to Chattanooga on Saturday.
Yeah. And I give my quick thoughts, I guess. On paper, I think this is a good result. I think I was hoping for 2 points, like in this system, the 2 points is definitely a good result on paper. It's like, okay, we're away from home. We're playing a team that is a tier above technically. And you could see like they have the attacking talent that they had was definitely there. That's not a bad team. Um, Results may just not be going their way a little bit, but it's not a bad team at all. So yeah, for us to go on the road and get the air quotes win to get 2 points, we'll just say, hey, we got the better points out of this. On paper, take it all day, all
Hmm.
day. And then I think looking at the context of the game a little bit more, where how does Boise progress the ball? We progress the ball through our wingbacks, and to have both of our starting wingbacks who have started every minute of every game with Nick Moon, or they haven't played every minute of every game, but Nick Moon and Blake Bottle, they've started every game up to this point. So to take our main ball progressors out of the starting lineup, you knew things were going to be a little clanky, and it was. I think my biggest takeaway was we struggled progressing the ball a lot. It was very clunky. It was very stodgy. It was a struggle. And I think Keegan Euler did, he kind of, I'd say he kind of like built into the game as the game went on. He
Hmm.
got better. Struggled kind of initially, it seemed like. I think Boise did as a whole. And I think Jonathan Riggins was just a little tired, and I don't think he's quite the style of wingback that we like to play with. He is, again, he plays right center back for us, and I know that he's played, wing back and full back and center back before, but I think in our system he's definitely a center back. So, and he's another guy who starts a lot. I think he's only been on the bench one game. He hasn't started just one game so far this season. So that was probably the biggest takeaway is like we really struggled progressing the ball effectively. We couldn't get our strikers involved. It was yeah, it was definitely not it wasn't a classic. It wasn't a classic game.
No.
It was a bit of a just a slog through the mud.
Yeah.
Um
The first half definitely.
and a,
I
and a
think
bad pitch too, and a bad pitch.
yeah. A
Yeah,
really empty
tough
stadium. I
shape.
know we say it's an away game, but of probably all the away days, the boys were probably looking forward the most to spending a night or two in Las Vegas and enjoying all that
Yeah.
is to do it in Las Vegas. It looked like they were staying at the Bellagio, which is cool to see that potentially the team is putting them up and not maybe the
I
slums of
mean,
Las Vegas.
I feel
Who
like, well,
knows?
I feel like Vegas, there's cheap because there's so many
Oh,
hotels. The strip
uh,
is the strip is cheap, man.
that's
I
what
was
you
looking at,
think, but
yeah, I literally it was like $60 a night for a
I don't
room.
know.
Yeah,
Who knows?
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I think at times the first half, I think the highlight for me from the first half was that the commentators thought Hayden Sargis was Aaron Guillen
Guillen, yeah,
continually,
that was good. They
which they
did
did.
shame
They did.
themselves. They shamed
Yeah, they shamed
themselves.
themselves in the second half, saying, "Oh, I can't believe I mixed up They were both number 33, so understandable." But yeah, just at times some boneheaded comments from the commentators, which it's not their fault. They're doing their best to try and keep up with these teams versus us who kind of live, breathe, and die for Athletic Club Boise.
Yeah,
So
it's fair. I mean, how many times are those guys gonna, announce for Boise the rest of the
exactly,
season? Not very many,
not
but
very often. I
yeah.
think the biggest thing that maybe caught people off guard was the 90th minute sub of goalie Jonathan Kluwer, who I think had an amazing game, made some great timely saves, saved himself from maybe, I think one of his saves was from an errant
Yeah,
pass that kind of,
he overhit it. At least that's my opinion. I think
yeah,
he either I don't know. Again, it's just I think both of our goalkeepers that have really gotten the minutes, like Jonathan and
Joseph.
yeah, and Joseph, they've both struggled with distribution a little bit. But
Hmm.
I think the big difference was that, Joseph, when mistakes have happened, he hasn't been able to save himself a
Hmm.
little bit. And Jonathan did.
Yeah.
He made the mistake with the pass where he kind of overhit it to Sargis, in my opinion, or Sargis didn't read it. Whatever happened, the pass got intercepted, but Jonathan made an outstanding save, and he
Yeah.
made a couple more good saves that night. So Jonathan, good game. I would
Yeah.
say overall he definitely had a
He
good
had
game.
that cramp or something in like the 70th or 80th minute,
Hmm.
which I didn't seem like it was. I saw Javi slightly get ready, but then it sounded like it was nothing. But he did get subbed off in the 91st minute, which, if people had forgotten, Javier Garcia is the USL One record holder for most penalty saves in a season outside of penalty shootouts, with his time at Texoma FC last year. So Coach Miller definitely probably that's the reason Javi was on the bench and maybe Joseph wasn't, was because he has this secret weapon of Javier Garcia, who in the penalty shootout did get his hand on three of the four penalties he saw. He saved two of them outright. The third one he touched, just he got a finger on it, but he did deke him. So, don't know if the fan base maybe forgot about that. That Javier was obviously hadn't played a minute for us all season, but is this penalty maestro? And he showed his proof is in the pudding. So, I think if we ever are entering a penalty shootout, we definitely have this ace up our sleeve and something we can look forward to moving forward in cup play and potentially playoffs, as long as a sub is available for him. So.
Hmm.
I think we want to start diving into some of the comments we got from Instagram and Discord, and then we'll work our way into player stars of the game for this cup match. Starting off with supporter group who we shouted out last week, ACBC. Coach Miller looked like a genius with this late game goalie substitution. Again, couldn't agree more. The sub was available, and obviously he has a ton of faith in Javi, so very much was a surprise, but also it made complete sense given the
Yeah.
atmosphere of you have this, yeah, secret weapon to use.
And I guarantee, I mean, that was pre-planned. I
Yeah.
guarantee you, they told Javi this week, it's like, hey, if we go to penance,
Yeah.
you're in.
Start
So
that's your week of tape is just watch all these players' pens. He had
have
the
it
water
written
bottle
down.
with everything. Look very Jordan Pickfordy. Um next one is from Aaron Gore. He said, I think we have some work to do. Las Vegas is a bottom of the table team in the championship. As we've talked about, I don't disagree with you. I think I would have more of those opinions if this was our full normal starting 11. Um, it is what it is. To
Yeah.
get away with a result from that kind of performance is definitely a positive to take. That it wasn't our best night either, and we did beat a upper cup set per se, an upper division
Hmm.
team, and yes, we took them to penalties and took care of business. But there were times where it's like, oh man, like this is I don't know. I wouldn't say it's
It was,
concerning,
it wasn't pretty. It
yeah,
wasn't pretty.
but good
No,
teams
not
win.
necessarily.
Good
Yeah.
teams win these kind of games. If it's
Hmm.
an ugly game and it's not going your way, you batten down the hatches, you play defense, and you take advantage of the opportunities that are given to you. And Keegan Euler did that when we got
Hmm.
that breakaway with Omar crossing it in, and Keegan gets his first ever professional start, and in that start scores his first ever professional goal, and took advantage of that opportunity.
Hmm. Yep, I agree.
So it did feel like anytime we were on the counterattack, Las Vegas magically had six or seven defenders coming back, even when they were up or even when they were tied 0-0 or 1-1. So it wasn't impressive to see that they were ready for any
They were
counterattack.
tracking back. They were
Yeah, it was
tracking
like,
back
oh, Thomas
hard.
Amang is carrying the ball, and there are seven
Yeah.
defenders in front of him.
Yeah, they were tracking back.
Next one is about Omar from Dennis Pope, saying, "Yeah, yeah, is dynamic. We needed that," and I would agree. He definitely
Yeah.
gave a lot of energy. I think Thomas Amang and Luan Brito just it wasn't their game and kind of disappeared at times. I mean, Amang did make his efforts known with a very early hockey check to the throat. Again, it was
Yeah,
just
he's a wrecking ball.
his
He's a
aerial
wrecking ball.
duel tactics, or maybe the referees have the they know what they're getting when goes in the air, and they're looking for
Hmm.
the throat chop or elbow to the gullet. So maybe just look out for that and don't get silly yellow cards at the beginning. But yeah, I think yeah, Omar brought in just the juice and that kind of that 70th minute sub that we needed, and
Yeah,
was a
it
crucial
was
part in our goal.
really, yeah, I think really good substitution there. He just was able to stretch the defense and I mean I didn't think he had him. I didn't think, when I first saw him kind of like burst that little burst of speed, whatever center back he was going up against or fullback. I'm like, oh man, they have him. Like I don't think Omar. has the lane that he thinks he has for this cross, and all of a sudden you just see him blow by whatever defender was up against him. It's like, oh yeah, Omar. I mean, Omar against tired legs is perfect. He's just gonna blow by you. So yeah, he's dynamic, he's aggressive, and it was perfect. It was the perfect ball. It was a yeah, really really good impact substitution, and that's exactly what you want to see from Omar. So yeah, couldn't have asked any more of him.
Yeah. Got one from Double Tap Pub. Come on, shout out Double Tap. Great 2 points. Got to stop doing silly stuff in front of our net. Again, wholeheartedly agree. Musa was trying his best. The thought was there, and if there wasn't insane side spin on that ball, it would have just trickled out for a corner. But because there was just so much spin when it bounced, it went goalwards, which then Cleaver was tracking back, and it is what it is. Stuff happens, goofs like that. Unfortunately, have happened to Athletic Club Boise in almost every one of our games. Besides our victories, I think we've had maybe a mishap like that, but those things happen in leagues like this. So,
and that phase of play was controversial in that a lot of Boise fans seem to think that it was a foul for Las Vegas to even win possession. I think after seeing enough games at this level now, unless it's basically a borderline yellow card, in open play where the team does win, where the opposing team does win the ball back, it's not going to get called for a foul. If they win the ball, even if they go through their back, because I forget who I think it was Keegan.
mhm.
It's a foul. In my opinion, that's a foul. And I feel like again, me and you aren't big homers. Like we're not, just because a
Yeah,
foul is called on Boise, we're not going to freak out about it. That was a foul. I rewatched it a couple times. The guy never like in order to win the ball, he has to go through the player, and he just went through the player through his back. So yeah, it's a foul. But again, I think at this level, unless it's borderline yellow card, they're not going to call it.
yeah,
So I think we just have to get used to it.
yeah. It's maybe
Um,
just a readjusting of what realigning our expectations from maybe the Premier
mhm,
League or Bundesliga or
yeah,
whatever our other preferred league of play is to
hmm
what a USL referee is
yeah,
calling a foul or not. So,
yeah. And
um,
but yeah, not Moose's best moment in a
yeah,
game where, in my personal opinion, he probably didn't have many good moments.
yeah.
Definitely, he's done really, really, a really, really, really good job for us this season. This was, which is why I think I felt Sargis was a little unlucky to
Hmm.
get pulled because I get why, because I guess, Nate wants to win this game. But I just think it's like I think any of our defenders were going to struggle against Anderson. And
Hmm.
that's just the side that
He was
Sargis was
the
lined up on.
drew the
So he
short
was,
straw and had
yeah,
to
he drew the short straw. And then Musa gets beat by him in the first minute of the
yeah.
second half. So
And I think that's
I,
why
I
the
just think, I
subbing,
just think Sargis, I think Sargis, again, I wanted to see him get minutes and he did. Is he going to be happy with how things went? Probably not.
yeah.
I don't think Moose is going to be happy either, but because we hadn't seen as much as Sargis, I was a little disappointed that he was the one who was substituted off when I thought Musa wasn't pulling up flowers either.
Yeah, I
It
think
is
just
what it is.
the only reason probably that is Musa just offers more flexibility and you
Mm-hmm.
can sub on a Mayaka, move Musa out of that defensive midfield and just slots right into right center back
Mm-hmm.
versus with subbing Hayden off,
Oh no,
you know.
I think you should. And let personally, I thought Hayden should have stayed,
Yeah.
which is
Get
controversial because
get
he didn't have
more
a great first half.
tape
But
on him.
I wanted more. We've seen what Musa can do, and he was having a bad game anyways. You could have, so I guess it
Yeah.
just kind of, I don't know,
I
and
mean, I
maybe
know the
that's just me.
broadcast was
Yeah,
speaking highly of Hayden and how he
yeah.
could potentially work his way into a starting role here. Obviously, I don't think this is the performance he wants Nate to see as him working his way into the starting lineup. But again, there's plenty of cup matches to go. There's a long
There's plenty. Yeah,
season.
there's plenty of time.
We are playing
I want to see more of him,
we are
obviously.
playing
So,
7 games in May, which is doubling our total amount of games played. So definitely will be getting some minutes and against a USL one side where they don't have a speedster off the left who's very crafty, or off the right, so excuse me.
hmm
He can definitely hold his own. So
yeah.
One or two others from Instagram, then we can hop over to Discord. Lou Pred, Nav92. Can't believe the ref let Vegas's goal stand. Was cool to hear the AC Boise cheer. River Guard was loud. Again, Kyle, we just touched on that. It is what it is.
Sorry, I
Again,
jumped ahead.
no, you're
Barely.
fine. You make it easy. And River Guard was loud. Yeah, it was great to see. It felt like they probably took up half the stadium every time they panned to
Mhm.
the audience. It was like, ooh, this is
Yeah.
very poorly. My in-laws who live in Vegas did say the weather was kind of rough,
It was
and
another windy game, of
there was
course.
a lot
Yeah.
going on. Obviously, there's a lot going on every night in Vegas, so obviously maybe the lights aren't the most sought after. It was just funny to hear that, and then the commentator was like, "Yeah, they have a real uptick in um, attendance this year." So
I think
just
you comparatively, yes, they've had a
yeah.
little bit of a bounce.
Speaking of attendance, there was one graphic that was thrown up that it was comparing through 7 weeks attendance averages. AC Boise currently, given our two home games, would be sixth in total average home match attendance between the championship and USL One. Only the Sacramento Republic, New York or New Mexico United, Indy 11, Louisville City, and the Oakland Roots rank above them
Hmm.
in average home match attendance. They're at 7,200 and Sacramento is at 9,600, who
Yeah,
Sacramento is
makes sense.
one of the top teams and are
You'd
planning
think
to.
Portland must have just a smaller stadium.
Yeah, Portland's at eighth, which is 6,000 average. Um,
I think that's their stadium size. I think their
yeah,
stadium 6,000. So,
so good to see that obviously we are already making an imprint in a top six average home attendance between the combination of the USL and making a name for ourselves in showing that if there is a realignment once promotion relegation comes up, that this is factual evidence as to why um, Boise could start in the championship when an alignment comes up. So,
mhm.
Kyle, any Discord notes that we want to chat about?
Yeah, just a few. Nothing too crazy. But Coach Chris, um, talking about the first goal, I don't think the mistake was on Cleaver. I forgot who the defender was. It was Sargis, but they didn't have awareness of the attacker coming in because Sargis, yeah, the kind of the overhead pass, he like did a slide tackle that he ended up losing. But yeah, that was it was just kind of a yeah, it was a mistake at the end of the day. It was overhit, whatever. It was the combination of errors that led to Anderson essentially not one on one with goal, but essentially, and Jonathan just came out and made a really good save. So, um, duh, 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 duh. Garcia, yeah, you mentioned Garcia 3 times made the right moves. The one he missed, he had to change direction and still managed to get his fingers on it. Yeah, he did amazing in the penalties. This penalty spot was trash.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
Chris.
definitely saw
Yes,
when
it
it
was.
sat in that divot.
Mhm.
It was,
Yeah,
I guess we
yeah.
can speak on that. And maybe the one thing that stood out to me from penalties was of our five takers, three were our starting center back trio. The fourth being Dominic Gasso, and the fifth being Toomey. Toomey being the only one who missed.
Or he was the
Um,
first.
yeah, the fifth taker, but first overall
No,
in the lineup. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
It was. Yeah, that
Dengler,
was an
Krull, and
interesting one.
Musa all took very confident penalties. All were,
I kind of like it.
yeah.
I
I
feel like
mean,
I feel like defenders are so no nonsense.
yeah, I know we've
Like,
gotten some friends or some comments from some viewers that's like, oh, well, center backs just have more leg. They're not as gassed after a 90-minute game that they
mm,
can just blast the ball harder. I mean,
yeah.
for Leeds, our second in line now that we have Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but before that, Pascal Strauk, who was our starting center back, was our penalty taker. And he's very crafty and very good. So was just surprised to see though, oh, not um, Omar, not Yukon Joe, which is
I did
that's
love
coming,
that.
that's moving
That was a
forward.
yeah, that's a good one.
Um, but just was something to take note of oh, okay, we're
Mhm.
deep and have variety in who can take the penalty.
Yeah, but it was. I agree, Chris. The penalty spot was trash. And then we have a comment from Michael Storm. Cleaver had the two monster saves that I think will at least put him on the short list for save of the week. I think the first one puts him save of the week,
Yeah,
where
the kind
he
of
just kind of
sprawling kick save.
yeah, that was really nice. Just closing the angle
Mhm.
was yeah, exactly. again, he made sure that the initial mistake, no matter who's responsible for it, like didn't lead to anything more, which is the most important thing. Who cares? Again, who cares who made the mistake as long as it doesn't damage the team any further. Um, if he doesn't earn it with one of those, then I'll be really disappointed. So will I. I think the deflected shot that Jonathan like deflected Ricketts, and it kind of like wrong foots Cleaver, and he has to like pedal backwards and jump. Yeah, that is a really good save, but I think the first personally, I think the first one's better, but they're both really good. Both
They
really
both
good
look good
saves.
in clips. So,
They do.
um,
Yeah, they do. And then he was a little sad that he took Cleaver out for the penalties since he is so good up to that point. But I figured Nate Miller knew what he was doing. Yes, I agree.
yeah.
I think that was 100% pre-planned before the game,
Yep.
probably at the beginning of the week. And boy, was that a great substitution. Going to see that a lot in Cup play in the future. Yeah, absolutely. I
I
think
would
it's
assume. I think
again.
the second I saw Javi was on the bench and it wasn't Joseph, I was like, okay, we're thinking
Yeah.
we have a safety net if pens come up that this guy can show his worth to the club and to the fan base and say, hey, like, yes, I'm third, or
Hmm.
I'm in competition for second string, or at least to make the bench for all these cup matches and potentially the
Yeah.
playoffs when penalty shootouts are in the cards.
I think at this point, again, I don't think I think a lot of people are just writing off Endema. I'm not one of those people,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like an Endema apologist. I don't know. I just in my head, it's like there was a reason he was starting at the beginning of this season. There
Mm-hmm.
was, and I just don't think. And I'm glad. I guess I'm glad that Jonathan has performed well. I'm really glad he has. So I think it just seems like again, there's a reason Javier hasn't started any of these games yet or been the number two on the bench until this game. So I think that is going to be Javier's role. Could we see Jonathan or Joseph kind of platoon at goalkeeper? I don't know, but Javier to me is entrenched as that third goalkeeper penalty specialist, where you might see him in the playoffs,
Yeah.
where it's more we're playing the hot hand. Where maybe, hey, maybe we are playing the hot hand at goalkeeper, but Javier is always on the bench when it's a knockout because you always have the potential to go to penalties and you need him there for that because he proved his worth last year with the way he performed for Texoma, and he's already proved his worth this season after
Mm-hmm.
one game. So yeah, really interesting there. But yeah, Michael said it was a great substitution. I gotta see that a lot in cup play in the future, I imagine. Yes, absolutely. Maybe it doesn't need to be stated at this point, but I still want to. Mayaka is incredibly fun to watch in the midfield, nearly unsolvable. Yeah,
Yeah.
hey man, it wasn't even Mayaka's best game, like not even
Mm-mm.
close. But he's just so he changes the look so much. Like he just brings an extra element to that midfield, and he is fun. Like he is just a do it all midfielder, a true like box to box threat, and yeah, incredibly fun to watch. And then the last one by Michael. He said, now that I think about it, I wonder if Nate Miller has a shot at being coach on the team of the week for the goalkeeper substitution. Yeah, I think again, you're going away to a team at in a higher tier. Doesn't matter if they're struggling or not, they're still in that tier above you. And then he makes that move that gets us the result. I think you don't see that type of decision making often. We
Mm-hmm.
are in a spoiled position where we have a team, a roster that can. I also think that two other substitutions that made a huge difference was the Omar substitution, where he took advantage of tired legs, and Omar was the perfect player profile to bring on to have that impact moment. So he made two decisions um, that I think were obviously pivotal.
Yeah,
So
and I think the hard, you could even throw in the hard decision of hooking Hayden Sargis at half. Um, uh, Coming from maybe again a fan base whose manager never really does halftime subs, no matter if you have the worst game of your life, it
hmm,
is good to see a manager make those hard decisions and say, "Hey, like Hayden or whoever you are, like you had a rough half and it's okay." Like obviously Musa got the same same amount of work and issues with Anderson, but let's get you out, let's get Mayaka in, and let's be competitive in the second half. So I'd be interested to see if there's a USL Cup team of the week. And it's not maybe USL one like it has been for in the weeks past since this is the first round of cup play. Uh,
hmm.
I would assume there is one, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
So, just real quick, I don't think we mentioned it. After this week of, or after this, yeah, round of round robin, Athletic Club Boise does sit second in Group One with 2 points and um, what am I trying to say? Yeah, they sit second. Sacramento's in first, Monterey's in third, and Oakland Roots is in fourth. Monterey and Oakland also drew with Monterey winning in penalties. So,
Hmm.
um,
Good for Monterey.
yeah, we'll keep a track on it. These games are once a month, so we'll just see next month how it
Yeah.
pans out. To put in perspective, last year the two play-in, I guess, wildcard teams had 9 and 10 points. So I would say 10 points is probably that marker you want to meet to have a chance at being either a division winner or have a chance at that wild card. So for them to
Hmm.
achieve 10 points at the moment, they would need to get 8 points out of 3 games. So that would need to be two victories straight up and a
Hmm.
overtime or a penalty win. We do play Sacramento. So we'll just wait and see. But
Yeah.
just thought I'd drop that flavor nugget, that info nugget in for those listening, just to know we're second, but it's obviously only the first game of the year. So now to our 3 stars, the most important part of today's episode. Um, Kyle, you can go first on who your all 3 stars are.
Uh, just because he's having a moment, so we'll have to mark explicit on this one. But Jake fucking Dangler.
Yep.
Um, Not quiet. I don't think quiet's the right word for the game he had. He just cleaned up everything. It felt like he was
Hmm.
everywhere. Um, yeah, it felt like he was everywhere. Nothing really got by him. Just a type of game that you need from your center back, and really good in distribution. I felt like he was kind of usually it's Jake Kroll who does most of the passing out of the back, but it felt like Jake had a lot better game. Um, distributing the ball. My goodness. So yeah, I really impressive game by him. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and yeah, give it to Jake Dengler. Dude was a monster all game.
Nice. First star. What about your second?
Oh, we're going. Oh, what about your first star? Want to hear yours?
Uh,
We'll do
my
it
first
that way.
star is also Jake Dengler. So
Okay.
completely agree. Kind of again, that root, that wall, the impenetrable, the immovable object that is Jake Dengler, and kind of that consistency that comes with a center back. I don't think there's much else to say on that. So um, I'll give my second star while I'm already chatting it up. I'm going to say Jonathan Cleaver. I think
Mm.
to see the performance that he put in, these two massive saves that if he didn't make them, we'd obviously not be in this position of saying we won in penalties. Um, just showed that there is obviously his start in against Westchester wasn't really tested much and just kind of got to sit back and distribute the ball here and there, but was never really tested with a shot on goal. He made at least two amazing saves and was there. And yeah, I think just deserved recognition for the performance he put in up to the 90th minute.
Yeah, that's fair. I think that would be a lot of people. I think a lot of people would agree with you on that one. I did not go with Jonathan Cleaver for my second
Mm,
star. I went with Jacob Kroll. Very
mm.
center back heavy. Very center back heavy for a game where we had some scary moments in the box and maybe some scary moments, within our 18-yard box. Jacob Kroll, I think yeah, there's just no question who's starting at those two center back spots
Yeah.
every single game. Again, distributed the ball really well. 12 defensive contributions, won all of his ground duels, won all of his aerial duels, just like Jake Dengler. He scored his penalty. So yeah, really, again, just a strong game. And they locked down that side of the pitch. It felt like not much came down Boise's left
Mm-mm. It was
for
all
Las
coming up the
Vegas.
right.
So, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jacob Kroll, my
Nice.
number two.
What about your number three? Wrap it up.
My number three, I have gone back and forth, and I don't. I have two people in mind, and I feel like I've like talked myself into each one, and I'm making like a game time decision of it's either despite the miss, I think Jonathan Ricketts did have a really good game,
Hmm.
but I think And then my other's Cleaver is Jonathan Cleaver. I'll go Jonathan Cleaver. I'll give him my third star. Good game.
Nice.
Again, limiting the damage from mistakes that with a good save was just huge for this game, and I felt like it just would have been another like kind of like a Boise thing so far this season to have like a mistake like that costs us. Like we had a mistake like that later in the game that costs us.
Hmm.
So I would give Jonathan my third star with special shout out to Jonathan Ricketts and also just off the bench Omar and Dom Gasso, both phenomenal performances. You guys barely played 30 minutes, and I wanted to give you just a special shout out. I think they made a huge difference and played really well.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Dom and Omar both had amazing subs and provided an additional boost in the later stages of the match. My third star, final star of the evening, has to go to the penalty saves. I think Javier, whether it
Two
was
goalies,
two
two
goalies,
goalies in
yeah,
your three stars.
yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I agree with you. It was a defensive minded game where I think a lot of our defense is what stood out. To
Oh, that's
to
never in a million years would I think that happened.
to come on cold, not had seen a shot, whether it was the game plan or not, going into the week of, hey, this is going to be what we're going to do, to just come in and handle the penalty shootout like he did, and stop to cleanly get a hand on a third. It, whether yeah, it just has to go recognized. Doesn't take away from Jonathan Ricketts and Keegan Oyler getting a first professional goal, so on and so forth. But I can't not give it to the person who, at the end of the day, did secure us the extra point
Hmm.
on the defensive side of that game of rock, paper, scissors. He
Yeah.
shows that he is well versed in the art of saving penalties. So
He's witch.
yeah.
He's
If he
witch.
continues to do that, yeah, we might have
Yeah.
to
He's
weigh him against a duck and see if he weighs more or less.
see if he
Um,
floats. If he
yes,
floats.
it's that's very small rocks, an apple. Our younger
Uh,
audience, go watch Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
yes,
Amazing
please do.
film.
Yeah.
I've just got all these vocal stems in my brain.
You're
To
welcome.
wrap up
That's
today's
me all
episode,
day, every day.
yeah, she turned me into a newt.
I got
Okay,
better.
we can't do this. Um, Wrapping up our predictions moving
Oh
forward.
no.
Unfortunately, Kyle and I both predicted a regulation victory, so no points for that. The kindness and generosity from Kyle for me to change my first time goal scorer or first goal scorer to a
Had to
different
toot my own
player.
horn. Had
Yep,
to toot
had
my own
to
horn on the lines.
um, yeah, had to pump his own tires. That is something I think just for the audience. If the play,
Was that actually a joke? Was that actually a joke? Because it's the Prinks tires. Like I thought you were making a joke
oh,
when you texted me that.
that's just something I say all the time.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I'm like, oh,
it
he's
works
making a
even better
joke
that it's
about
the
the
Frank's
cup. Yeah.
Tires Cup
Yeah.
game. But I think Kyle and I have agreed that for any game where we have a prediction for a player and for some reason they're not in the starting lineup, we will allow for a update to be made before the starting whistle,
Kickoff.
before kickoff, to ensure
So,
that there
so
is at least someone.
Boise, yeah, Boise, please release your starting lineups before the game
Yeah.
starts.
If
Please.
not, we'll see in the broadcast who the starting lineup is, and we can quickly throw a
Yeah.
name out. I don't think
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
do a bunch of an analysis into these names similar to a March Madness bracket. It's just kind of who am I feeling tonight, and
Yeah.
I might just start throwing the same name and see if it hits. But
Yeah. Yeah.
neither of
Yeah.
us guessed the first goal scorer of Keegan Oyler correctly, so it was a clean 0-0. Elias definitely
It's
still has
a
some
it's a
making up to
low
do.
scoring affair. It's
I
a low
mean,
scoring affair
hey,
for
you can't
sure.
win them all. Kyle has four points. Elias has two. So got to start clawing back and disagreeing with you on results moving forward, just to try and make some points up here or
We're
there.
we're
So
both in relegation form
yeah,
when it comes to this. We're
yeah,
we're we
we're
also
not.
our point structure probably might next season. Next season we might
Yeah,
have to
we need to
work
incentivize
out the kinks.
first goal score is definitely like a 3 point. We'll figure it out. We're learning
We
as we
might
go.
we might need to make this a prediction for like the week as a whole. Like, oh,
Yeah,
let's do all the maybe for the Boise games we do first goal scorer and 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 point or actual result where it comes to
Hmm.
score line, but we should predict all the other games just who win,
Um,
win, draw, loss, win,
Maybe
draw,
that's
loss. And
something
then
we
we,
can do with the Patreon
yes,
crew. Maybe
yes,
we can
yeah.
make it a audience poll and have the winner through all of our Patreon by the end of the
And
season
then, yeah, and
win
then the
something.
audience, yes, the audience gets a pick too.
Yeah.
They can submit
So if that sounds interesting to you, join our Patreon. We can start at mid-season. Doesn't mean we have to wait till next season to do that. But with that,
halftime sub. Like you
halftime
said,
stuff.
you gotta make the hard decisions.
Exactly. So, with that, this is hopefully not Kyle's last episode. We have heard from a lot of you about your interest in joining me. Still trying to figure out scheduling, just since we do record at odd hours, what's going to work and what's not. I will hopefully reach out with some opportunities, but I also may just be like, I'll tackle this solo for a month. We'll see. But with that, I think we're touched on everything we wanted to chat about, Kyle. I
Mm-hmm.
think we are good to
Yep.
get this show on the road and say congratulations, AC Boise, on getting 2 points.
Yes.
And we are on to Chattanooga at home on May 2nd. We will have a special guest for next week's post game wrap up. So
Yeah.
enjoy, keep your eyes out. You will see the better half of me on that. My wife will be joining us, who knows
It's gonna be amazing.
nothing about soccer. So she will be giving some great perspectives into the game and having
That's gonna be phenomenal.
expert analysis. So I'm sure Kyle will be looking forward to listening to that while
She
he
will
is.
be she'll be the last remaining pregnant podcast wife
Yeah,
at
we
that
have to
point
update the
because
PPW name.
just one.
Yes. So thank you all so much for listening. We really hope that you enjoyed this match and this episode. And we will see you for the pregame against Chattanooga this week.
See you guys in a couple days or in
Yes,
a couple weeks.
exactly. Bye, everyone. That's all for today's episode. If you enjoy the show, make sure to like, comment, share with a friend, and make sure you're following the show wherever you listen. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube for all updates and future content to come. If you want to help support the pod and get access to exclusive content, early episodes, and bonus perks, head over and check out our Patreon. It truly helps us keep this thing growing. Thanks again for listening. Thanks for being part of the community, and we'll catch you in the next one.